all 7 weeks, making it through the divisions. Let's take a look at how top tier fought their way through the division to make it to the playoffs.
Top tier answered the call of excellence again in Season 4. In Week 1, top tier suffered a loss against Sim.
Fired and a miss across E6 M6. Crimson is able to get it. Velocio takes a hit. Sublime Banana gets the kill. Point take, Rude Awakening, the last take left alive for top tier, and he falls. Sip is able to take the series 3-0. More of a loss for top tier than a win for Sim.
In Week 2, top tier found their first win against a new team in the Gold League, RBIS.
Carbon Wars hit, and he falls. Velocio pushes out just in time to get the kill. Beautiful play coming out. Gets it, 394. And E63 M6 gets the last shot.
Week 3, facing another new team in their division, top tier defeated Victoria's Secret 3-1.
Return fire will actually mess up Conflict as E63 seems to be moving in and Conflict will go down.
5 seconds left to go. Top tier is going to take this. Victoria's Secret is in some trouble.
And top tier is able to take the series.
Week 4, back to facing a top 8 team from Season 3, top tier went head-to-head against #RU.
Young Money, Cash Money, Godzilla, they're in trouble. And Sublime Banana is ready to get the kill, and he does. Blair is able to take down Backstabs, and he falls. Top tier takes battle number 1.
Oh, well done by top tier. They continue to solidify their standings.
In Week 5, top tier versus Simple Tankers proved to be one of the greatest matches of all time.
We have ourselves a match between Simple Tankers and top tier as they put a point on the board.
Will top tier be prepared for the traditional Simple Tankers right on over the middle stretch?
And Wallhack's Tofu's got to stop him.
He's gonna get it! Explosion! He has the shells, maybe. No! He gets the ram! White guy loses his cap points. The base is captured.
Base has been captured.
C'est La Vie brought top tier to the brink in Week 6, but in the tiebreaker, top tier chose to defend for the win.
He's gotta get distance. Wait.
Oh my goodness, Velocio gets the kill.
He's spotted.
Oh, fires and misses. Topper sets it up and misses.
No.
It's a draw. Well played from C'est La Vie, but top tier are your victors.
After a win and 3 draws, top tier took the series 2-0 against Fun Gaming in Week 7.
Trying to avoid it, rams into the house. He knows the end is nigh.
This is like a horror movie.
And he goes down. He's in a really tough spot. E63 M6 fires twice for the kill.
Rude Awakening approaching through a bush. Just distracting a little bit. Sublime gets the first hit, resetting the cap.
Velocio could be loaded in time, and he gets it. Velocio closes the deal.
Top tier finished in 2nd place in the Alpha Division.
To make it to this moment, but the journey is not over yet unless they fall to #RU in this upcoming series. Let's take a look at the rosters for this team, for both teams. You know, top tier, Rude Awakening, the commander of the team. Cool Hammer Velocio, E63 M6. E63 M6 and that AMX 5100 performs so well. You also got McBlack, Memory Leak, Backstabs, who was doing great, and then Object 416 earlier, Sublime Banana, Agamemnon, and Explosionism.
And always Explosionism. He's been an IS6 player, and he's gotten 2 games in it that we've noticed, 1 win in there. But, of course, the real IS6 player, Velocio, who's gotten 11 battles in the IS6, which is exactly the same number of battles in regular season as he had in his IS3. He also had 6 battles in his T32. But note, only 5 wins in the IS6, 6 losses in the IS6, and 6 losses in the IS3. When he plays a T69, 5100, Pershing, almost no wins. 1 win in the Pershing. T32 actually has his best win percentage for any single tank. Very surprising. The IS6 does well, but they actually don't win more than half the time when he's in there. Now, if you go and look at Explosionism, out of the 2 battles, only 1 win. And then his IS3 play, 50% even out of 10 battles. It's so strange that even though the IS6 appears to be so effective for top tier, it's not getting such absolutely mind-blowing results as we'd like to think. Damage-wise, fantastic, but not battle wins is it getting.
Yeah, it's part of the propaganda machine of top tier. It's the propaganda machine, which the IS6 has been used continuously by Velocio. He is the greatest evangelist for the IS6, and there's been other type of tanks, the VK 30-2 tank that was brought one time.
That was absurd.
It broke Rookhill. They could not process what was happening.
Why would you bring the 30-2 D?
Well, that's been Top Tier's MO. And as fun as that's been sometimes, their performance record is what counts. And using the IS-6s on mines started a trend here and there as a surprise tactic. And once the surprise is over, you see it enough times, it's no longer a surprise. We all know that. But it was quite a surprise when other teams were bringing it, like Hammer Time this season, and other tanks that we've seen this season that have been surprises. The Waffentrager at times. Seen a couple tank destroyers used. I think the Jag Panther, Jag Tiger.
Jag Panther 2.
Jag Panther 2 was brought.
I kind of wish they'd bring a Jag 88. That would be cool.
That's a huge tank.
Yeah.
The KV-5. But the two KV-5 strike, you're not a fan of at all.
Oh, no, I hate KV-5s, really. The armor's cool. The way they play around with 5100s is interesting, but honestly, I'm not that interested. I am starting to see, though, Clutch, map picking rolling in. First map will be Cliff, followed by Ensk, then Mines, Prokhorovka, and we're still waiting on that 5th map. But that is an interesting lineup we're looking at for this series as we're just getting everything together. I'm seeing everyone in the room, and map picking has begun. Looks like Proc and then Himmelsdorf will be the final map pick.
All right, so a lot tighter maps for all these choices. Prokhorovka, the biggest map, I believe, for all of them. Cliff is
not as big.
It's not as big. It seems like, oh, it's such an open map. Not really. I mean, it's two giant mountains kind of in the center. Giant rocks, one really, the donut, but the other Lighthouse Mountain. But that road has made it smoother. It's a smoother map because
the
of the
one
road.
on the west, moving up towards the, I guess, the high ground in the west. There's one from about, I think it's the 1-2 line from north to south there. And then what used to be an interesting cliffside that was somewhat difficult to traverse easily. You had to really pay attention and line your tank up just so. But now with a road that's very smooth, you have this easier time getting up there. Slower tanks aren't going to be so hindered in their movement up there. Medium tanks, and you now have tanks can go side by side. You can see your light tank can pass a heavy tank or a medium tank. You can escape easier. It's smoother down, and also firing from the high to the low ground is a little bit easier as well. And from the low ground to the high ground, actually.
The best and worst map, because there's 3 wins and 3 losses, so it's tied up, is Himmelsdorf for Top Tier.
Oh.
And their losses were against Simple Tinkers and then C'est La Vie. C'est La Vie was a team that only secured 1 win their entire run, and that was against Top Tier.
Interesting. It must have been a very off day for them, though. Or just a very on day for C'est La Vie.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. But we're continuing, almost ready for the match to begin. Just doing the final preparation for these teams, and the countdown will begin. We'll let you know when the countdown starts. 60 seconds for them to choose their tanks. It has started. We're at 30 seconds.
All right, getting
Nice.
ready for battle number 1. Sorry for the delay, everyone.
Yeah, hey, we have a lot of stats. We got a lot of things we can tell you about. Now you have a more in-depth look at both these teams, so even more is going to be at stake for both fans here of #RU and Top Tier. See how far the journeys have come. For both these teams, I'm sensing kind of the vibe of the crowd watching right now. Top Tier is not the underdog. It's more #RU based on performance and placement.
Yeah.
But you could have said the same thing about RBIS last night. We all did against Simp, and then they took the win. Anything can happen here in the playoffs in this double elimination bracket. Losers match is about to begin between Top Tier and #RU. Battle number 1 taking place on Cliff. Rookhill, what do we have for tanks?
We have an IS-6 played by Velatio T69, 3 1390s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. That is for Top Tier, the red team in the south. The blue team in the north, #RU will have a T69, 4 AMX 1390s, and 2 T1 Cunninghams. I'm seeing Valera Desolator load in very late, just in time for the countdown to finish. And they are going to begin moving. An East play coming out of Top Tier right off the bat. They have a slow IS-6 trying to make its way to the middle, but they're going to be outdistanced by those 1390s and T69 very quickly. I'm worried because of that for Top Tier's ability to make a strong opening impact on this match.
Oh, Master Putin leading the charge with Young Money, Cash Money, Godzilla Mode, Valera Desolator. Game is rigged and topple him to the very, very north. Kazo staying at the flag cap. Master Putin will be riding the top of this mountain first.
And against him, Backstaz, playing the traditional scout role for top tier on Cliff. He will begin proxy spotting, and a
Big
bounce.
Big bounce against Backstaz.
And he's going to back down. Young Money has wasted one crucial shell from his 1390. And I'm going to check on Velatio, who is still trying to get to the middle. He stopped, is slow rolling and zeroing, looking for a tank to fire upon. 390 average damage is massive in a battle like this, where you have only 1,100 on the 1390s and 1,350 for the T69.
Master Putin holding. Waiting for it. Nothing popping up for him to shoot at. And top tier hangs back. They don't try to press against these rocks as we've seen other teams such as Simple Tankers try to do and take too much damage because of it. But now there's a little bit of a push coming from Velatio.
He is moving closer and closer, and that IS-6, if in the brawl, can be so absolutely brutal and absorb so many 1390 shells. Its weakness is in the turret, which, because these guys are firing all gold, could be rather effective.
E63 M6 takes the first hit, so does Velatio. But he fires back towards Godzilla mode. Game is rigged. Another hit against Velatio. Another one. The volley of damage is huge against him, and now he takes 725.
But there is a reply. Top tier is moving up, and a lot of shells have been wasted. 1390's moving in, and they begin trying to engage on Young Money, but he's just a little bit too slick for that and gets out of there without taking a single shell.
Too fast as Valera Desolator is able to hold and cover that retreat, but Velatio is going to continue to move forward. And he fires finally a shot against Young Money for 405. Missed shot from Young Money against Velatio. Velatio down to so low health, he finally falls to Master Putin.
He's up on the high ground just below the lighthouse. The kind of west side push around the middle hill does not generally work when your opponent controls that high ground. The angle is just too strong. And now they're down to tier 8. Rude Awakening and the T1 trying to get into the backfield won't make as big a difference. Top limb finds him, peppers him, barely doesn't get the kill.
Master Putin's in a great spot. Top tier. This three-pronged spread not going in their favor, really.
Highly aggressive, but with not enough of a lead. And now Rude Awakening and Top limb will fight T1, squaring off. It could actually have an effect. T1 being able to pepper the backside.
Ooh, Young Money, Cash Money.
From who, though?
That was from Sublime Banana. Memory Leak falls back. I believe it's from Sublime Banana. Memory Leak was a little bit on the move.
That was certainly from Sublime Banana. Valera Desolator taking 230 damage.
Oh, Master Putin still. His dominance from up top, and Rude Awakening falling to Young Money. This is a tough place for top tier, as they're losing ground and losing tanks. Master Putin and Valera Desolator from up top, still holding. Godzilla mode down below, waiting for that timing to push closer to the rocks.
I'm not seeing a lot of options. Top limb's going to move out. T1 will get to the southeast. That could be effective. Cool Hammer is going to be hanging back towards the cap, which I find interesting. And that T1 could be the draw option for top 2. I think that could be what they're going for.
Quite possible for Cool Hammer. Yeah, they've taken this much damage. They're going to force #RU to come to them. They're not going to poke out. They want #RU to make the mistakes and for them to jump on them.
An ideal situation, but unlikely. I think #RU is going to keep trying to whittle them down until there's absolutely no chance for a recovery. Sublime Banana is very dangerous, sitting on 2 shells, by the way. But Top limb's moving towards the cap.
And Toplum inching closer and closer. And I could see if Toplum was able to kill Cool Hammer to take down the remaining T1, then #RU would feel 100% confident going in for the push and the kill.
I think Top limb just spotted Cool Hammer. They know where the other T1 is. And will anyone from top tier be looking back in that direction? Doesn't look like it. Looks like everyone is still towards the top of the hill. Cool Hammer actually escaping north. And the cap will begin. Top limb jumping on that cap. Reaction. Gun staying facing the right direction. Cool Hammer is going to have to return to cap, and he could very well get this. But I'm surprised that Kazo isn't moving out. His T1.
Nope, he's staying in his T1. He's guarding that flag cap. Also, the potential of him maintaining there's a draw in case something catastrophic happens to his team. Comes Cool Hammer.
And they're getting ready for the push. Simultaneous. Godzilla mode moving around to the west. Sublime Banana taking fire from the high ground. And the crossfire begins. Shots ring out. Memory League taking 437 to begin the fight.
And Valera Desolator almost down up top, but here comes the swing coming from Godzilla mode and his battle buddy. Game is rigged. They take down E6, 3M6. Sublime Banana is the next target for these two autoloaders. And Sublime Banana was burning, but Godzilla finishes it up. Backstaz, so low, 7 HP. He goes down. Cool Hammer, last tank alive, 3 minutes and 32 seconds. Hashtag RU has no problem cleaning this up.
He's going to be sitting way in the backfield. Poor little T1.
And that damage dealt by the tank up top is what put hashtag RU in the lead.
He can hide, but 3 minutes left. Not going to do it. Losing Velatio in the IS-6, I think, is what did it. Just like you said, the damage done. That IS-6 tried to absorb a lot, but the armor was not angled quite right, and the shots were ringing true for hashtag RU.
It's puzzling to see him that aggressive, poking out that far, because there's just so much good shots coming from Godzilla mode from down below, and then Master Putin from up top. Later, Valera Desolator, and there's a final shot, final kill. Hashtag RU takes battle number 1 against Top Tier in this best-of-5 series, where the loser goes home. The loser is out of the tournament. The winner moves on to the decider match.
And now let's take a look at the post-game report. Seeing that Memory Leak was able to do about 1,100 damage, but 1,700 by Godzilla mode. He just absolutely decimated everything, even picking up 3 kills. 9 for 10. Young Money, 7 for 9 with 1,400. Game is rigged with a solid 10 for 11. I think those were a lot of fizzles. There's no way he did that little damage with that many shells. Valera Desolator, 6 for 9. Master Putin, 4 for 8 in that battle. Hashtag RU looking a little bit better than they were certainly against Fnatic, but look to the past record again. Next map is going to be Ensk. Ensk was a draw last time these two played. I am worried about that. And as I look back to, I want to see the specific results from that match. When they played Ensk, at the end, Valera, Desolator, and Topolim were the only 2 tanks left alive. Valera in a 5100, Topolim a T1 as always. Explosionism, Sublime Banana, Rude Awakening, Backstaz, all alive for Top Tier. There was an advantage for Top Tier last time in damage dealt, because Explosionism does 2,600, by the way, in that battle. However, Master Putin does about 2,400. I'd expect Top Tier to play this one better. Hashtag RU has come a long way, though, and we've seen them grow and change.
They have come a long way. They were having some difficulty at the beginning of the season with rosters, people being able to play. Not anything barring them from rules or anything, but schedules.
Yeah.
And Young Money, Cash Money finally was being able to start in the season about week 3, week 4. And that has been a little bit of a concept theme with some of these teams. C'est La Vie had a huge problem with some of their team members showing up. Victoria's Secret, some of the issues with them was the motivation for team members to play. But when you have teams that have already tasted the success, hashtag RU was so close, however, falling to Hammer Time in Season 3 in a tiebreaker and a shootout. And teams that have tasted, success in the Silver League with lots of gold in their accounts, but not that cash money prize like Simp or Fnatic or Hammer Time or Cunningham's have received.
Yeah.
Of course, Fnatic and Simp, the $50,000 for first place, $25,000 for second place, and then it goes down the line. But even Simple Tankers has had that feeling in the past of being one of the top 8 teams, and they're out of the Gold League.
I used to have one of the leftover checks for Simp and one of the leftover ones for Simple Tankers. It's cool to kind of just hold on to those and see what they feel like.
And we saw in the second battle, the second match, the first battle, that was Hammer Time versus Top Tier. Top Tier took it. Backstaz and the Object 416 performed so well. It was that rail push, getting past that very dangerous moment when you're leaving the railroad tracks, leaving the cars, and that bottleneck. But even though so close, Backstaz was able to hold, and East Extreme 6 closed the deal with his 5100. The same thing could happen here tonight. However, you play a card twice. Everyone's going to expect it after the first time. So where are they going to spawn? To the south, it looks like #RU is in that position.
It looks like we'll have Top Tier in the south.
Okay.
And we'll have #RU in the north. And it looks like the battle is getting ready to go underway.
Yep. So anything can happen on Ensk. Anything can happen on any battle, but Ensk is particularly intriguing because of how Top Tier approached this map in the second match. The night also comes down to the tanks that are chosen. So Rukil, what do we have for tanks?
All right, we have a 110. AMX 5100, 2 IS-3s, and an Object 416 complemented with 2 T1 Cunninghams. We'll get to that one in a second. Other side, #U with a conventional 3 AMX 5100s, 2 IS-3s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. We have a 110 making its way back. That's the 100 mil on there. Nice gun, good DPM. Shuka, I believe, a little bit more dangerous.
More prominent. More dangerous, more prominent.
Certainly than the IS-3s. And also 50 more hit points. Comes into play sometimes. Sometimes. And then we have an Object 416. So we have 2 tanks that don't see a lot of play being utilized here today on End. Top Tier's trying to throw things off, confuse their opponent with the lineup. Hopefully they play in such a way that Top Tier is able to exploit it with these picks. Backstaz, great TPM. Valleccio, solid DPM as well. I wonder why he doesn't pick this tank over the IS-6 more often.
The DPM.
DPM's excellent on the 110.
Well, that's the main reasoning why he'll bring the IS-6. Claims the DPM. Maybe it's the psychological effect.
I think it's being understood too much now. Teams are too prepared for that kind of silliness.
A lot of consistent fire coming out of the IS-3s for blind fire, but no shots have landed yet. A lot of map indicators happening from #RU. Commander trying to tell them where to push, and that's Young Money Cash Money adjusting his position, going through the fence, turning the corner, checking to make sure there's no danger coming down the sidewalk area, the train walk area. The pedestrians would wait for the trains to show up.
As opposed to the tanks?
It's enough
you can
time.
fit T-32s on that.
It's enough time.
Not T-32s, T-34s. See that on Prokhorovka, the trains. They have T-34s on there.
It's true. T-34s.
Yeah. The Russian ones.
Not the American ones.
Well, I mean, American ones. I've seen a picture of a T-34, I think, on the back of a truck. The American T-34. That was good.
It's a giant tank, the T-34.
Yeah.
On the American side, prototype tank. So was the T-32 as a prototype tank, but it never saw action, never saw combat.
Object 416, also a prototype. That's where it gets its name. Object is the designation given to tanks that, well, Russian tanks that were prototypes, didn't make it to production. Wish I could remember all of the object numbers for every single Russian tank, but that is...
it's a lot.
That's a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's other object number tanks in the game. One of them's an artillery, correct?
Yeah, Object 261. It's a fun arty. Used to be incredibly accurate. You could put a shell wherever you wanted. At least I claimed I could. Yeah, I have to admit I played arty once upon a time, guys. I played scouts, understood what I needed from my arty, had to play arty to understand more.
You and Relics.
I wasn't the best arty, though. I was certainly not the best arty there ever was. I was good in Clan Wars. 261, I mean, you just hit something, you blow it up, but I was never that exceptional. And now we've got Backstaz moving in on Kazo, misses the shell. Maybe Coolhammer will get it, or Backstaz will be able to make the connection. Peppering with a T1 Coolhammer.
Backstaz takes a little bit of damage, but he takes down, or Kazo took some damage, and then Backstaz takes him out.
Easy kill.
Backstaz took no damage in that little firefight.
Managing to stay perfectly behind a building. The low profile of that tank coming into play, because he was on a high ground, there's a very small bit of rubble in front of him. which I believe kept him safe from Valera Desolator and Master Putin. And now, what shifts in position do we see? Toplin in the T1 has made his way to the south. Positions from top tier are such that they're covering the cap, mostly, and elsewhere, looks like they'll have Coolhammer move in for scouting, Backstab's cover fire. Top tier's trying to find a health point advantage here. They've got a T1 advantage. Now they need to find the next point of weakness for #RU and begin exploiting that. But where is that position? The north is so well secured. You have 4 tier 8s up in that area. Valera Desolator behind perfect cover. Master Putin in a beautiful cover position, mostly safe, and able to retreat very easily. Young Money, Cash Money is a bit exposed and could take down Coolhammer underneath the train. I think he might just.
Just waiting for the shot.
Zeroing for it. He'll find it.
Backs up a bit.
He's got to get on slightly lower ground.
Yeah, he's actually trying to get away from that exposed position he had earlier. Looking towards the south again.
Oh, we have aggression now. Rude Awakening being covered. I see suppressing fire coming out of Memory Leak, perhaps Velatio, to try and keep tanks' heads down while that T1 moves up and begins the engagement of Top Limb.
Top Limb stays in the fight. Gets a kill against Rude Awakening. Top Limb holding next to the flag to the south. Could initiate the flag cap, but if he did so, he would fall in the first shot or a strong gust of wind. That's how much HP he has left, 7 HP.
Doesn't really matter though when you go up against a tier 8, you know?
No,
One shell,
no, it doesn't.
Good enough. I mean, maybe if you kind of accidentally, you know, bumped into an object or something, you know, with your tracks, maybe you have taken only half health and damage. But unlikely situation as Memory Leak gets the kill, Top Limb backing out, and that's going to even up the T1 kills. Top tier and #RU have lost all of their T1s, meaning there's a heck of a lot of lost vision, map control going out the window.
Game is rigged, firing a couple more blind fire shots and then going for the reload. Once the reload is complete, it'll be slightly under 3 minutes, and that could be the time that #RU goes for the attack. Look at this, top tier sending a couple of their tier 8s halfway up the map.
They are sending Memory Leak and E63M6 back across the south, across their own cap, and they're going to look right at Young Money, Cash Money. Traded fire, Memory Leak bounces that shell. Young Money does not. He accepts 350 damage to his tank. Backstab's also taking damage in the north for 340, 706, 1,025. And finally, the kill, Valera Desolator getting that one. First tier 8 is down. That is huge for #RU. They can follow this up very easily.
Godzilla mode waiting for another chance to strike against Memory Leak. Top tier has had to fall back. Backstab is not able to recreate the same performance, the same success in the Object 416 compared to last time.
Maybe Velatio can do it. He's in a 110. Great damage potential,
Ooh,
complemented by Alpha, which, as you could just see, Memory Leak gets a connection, but he's taking so much damage in reply.
Yeah, Young Money took a big hit, though, and that's going to be very detrimental to keeping that aggression down the sidewalk. So he took a number of hits, one of them to the side. You can see how big that shot was, huge penetration.
Right into the spaced armor.
And here's a swing happening for Master Putin.
That's a solid flank between the two from the west and the two in the north. The one in the middle, Godzilla mode, can come on in, just break on through, and then support from whichever side is weakest. This should be an easy cleanup. All of the tanks of top tier are in I'd say, horrible position. Right on their cap, an open ground, multiple avenues of approach for their enemy. There's no choke point to speak of, and the view on your opponent's approaches is very, very limited. E63 can see to the north, but there's massive blind spots that are not being utilized.
Boom! E63M6 takes a hit for 309. Godzilla mode pushing up, but he gets smacked down, and he almost falls. E63M6 is the first to go in that initial firefight. Godzilla finally falls. It's 4-on-3 in favor of #RU, and they're pushing up They want this win. They're not going for a draw. Minute and 14 left. These tanks try to escape. There's no T1s. They can try to avoid this. Velaccio and that 110. Still high enough health to be a threat after his teammate falls. Sublime Banana. Velaccio still holding. Game is rigged. Takes another shot. Both tanks very low. And game is rigged to Master Putin are now reloading. Master Putin tries to do damage against the 110. Takes 20 HP to his side.
And now game is rigged going in for a ram. Sublime Banana could very well help out in this situation. Velaccio is loaded. Game is rigged, takes a hit. Lacking in the focus fire right there. Everything's on reload. It's crucial to get a kill right now, but I think they've lost heart. Velaccio's ammo racked. That's what it is. He's got an incredibly slow reload. Shell into Master Putin. Doesn't light him on fire. Game is rigged, very close to reload. Valera Desolator. They stop. 0.
Master Putin reloaded. 1 shot. And 2. Sublime Banana down. Master Putin turns towards Velaccio. Velaccio goes down. The game is rigged. And top tier falls to #RU on Ensk. #RU 1 battle away from moving on to the decider match. Top tier 1 battle away from falling out of the tournament and joining us in Season 5, hopefully.
So, #RU, a team which just fell to Fnatic 3-0, is looking to 3-0 top tier, a team that just went to a tiebreaker with Hammer Time.
This is crazy because you look at the placement of both these teams. Top tier, 2nd place in their division. #RU barely making it because of just where they were placing in the middle of the season and the amount of wins they had to incur for themselves.
It's very surprising to see results like this from #RU over top tier. Top tier must be in just such a strange place right now. They have to be. After losing to Hammer Time, it's a highly stressful way to lose. Not losing outright, knowing that you made huge mistakes, but it was close. And when a match is close, it's harder to figure out what you did wrong sometimes. Because you realize I played exceptionally sometimes. I know there were mistakes here, here, and here, but you can't identify some of the more subtle things, the strategical errors that, for one reason or another, maybe just a little thing, 1 tank out of place. That flank we saw on Ensk not working out well for, I believe that was top tier.
Pinpointing, when was the moment that this stopped going in favor of top tier on Ensk? Because that traded fire was happening between Militant and Young Money Cash Money. But before that, they took out Backstabs in the Object 416.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the biggest thing. The Object 416 did not perform. You look at how much damage he was able to do, 77 hit points of damage.
He exposed himself in the north. He went out of cover, he left it, thought, I can be safe and try and do something. He got too aggressive. He got ahead of himself. I think he misjudged the positioning of #RU, decided I can go for something, but #RU waited until he was in an exposed position. A few good track shots here and there. Backstabs is not fast enough, doesn't burn his kit, thinks he might be able to get away. But 5100s are brutal, and if they catch a tank on its own, it's dead. That's just the potency of a 5100, especially with an Object 416, a medium tank, lesser number of hit points, not really much armor to speak of.
Mines is going to be battle number 3, the map, and the aggression that's possible here is fantastic. But this is the dangerous part of where we've seen teams up 2-0 and then they lose as the other team comes back. It happened recently in the division play, the last play for RBIS versus Simp. RBIS was up 2-0, then Simp came back 3-0, almost, or 3-2, almost no problem.
But right now, #RU is going to spawn the south. They have the potential for that mountain play. It's very common for them to also take the middle of the mine. We'll have to see how all of that plays out.
Here we go. Battle number 3 between top tier and #RU in the losers match. A disconnect has been called.
Disappointment. Looks like it's Godzilla mode.
Okay.
Yeah. It's having a few troubles there. Bringing us right back down.
Ooh. And the locomotion of the hype takes a break for a second. Well, disconnects. Fortunately, it's a vehicle of esports, internet.
Yeah.
The speed of light, sending information.
It's actually not necessarily the speed of light all the time.
I know. Packet loss and all sorts of things.
No, just speed of light's optical, and then I don't know. You could have someone sending it be a carrier pigeon, which I'm pretty sure my internet was carrier pigeon back in South Carolina. I'm confident that it was carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
It's bad.
We were growing up, dial-up modems.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. All right, well, were you able to see at least some of the tanks that were chosen?
No. I
Trim
didn't get a
tanks.
chance to
All right.
really look at anything.
I didn't see anything crazy offhand. It seemed pretty standard. And they have to choose the same tanks when a disconnect happens.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for that to finish out. All right, let's talk about what happened the last time that we saw Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we saw Mines, excuse me. That was Fnatic versus #RU, and it was a WZ-132 Ram that happened with Jackie Rudo at the helm, and that body blocked those WZ-132s, or that body blocked the 1390, and then they dominated in the center. They dominated that middle. The next time we saw Mines was Top Tier versus Hammer Time, Top Tier Hammer Time,
Mm-hmm.
and Top Tier took it. Photo Finish fell first, and then the 1390s fell back, knowing that the center was going to be pushed by those tanks coming from Hammer Time. They held, sweeped around the corner, and took them out. So Top Tier has the favor, and they're not in a favorable position for this match, though. So this is a tough place. You know, mentally you try to think, all right, stacking up these two teams next to each other, Top Tier has the advantage because they won against Hammer Time. Well, Hammer Time is not the same team right now compared to #RU. So it's still up in the air. Anything can happen. A lot of people are sending us their tweets. They're sending us their messages on Facebook right now. It's very, very busy in social media because they know what's at stake for these teams. They want their teams to succeed. They want their teams to make it to the finals. A lot of them want to see them live in Seattle, to meet them in person, to shake their hand and say, hey, man, I love your team. I love watching you guys. I always cheer for you. Can I get an autograph? Can I get a picture? And that's always fun to see. I mean, I've been working in esports for years, and it's always very neat to see how happy players are when they get to meet fans in person, and to see how excited the fans are when they get to meet their favorite players and take pictures and freak out a little bit.
I'm always super excited just to meet the players, too.
Yeah.
It's been great. They're all super cool guys. There's people that I've known literally for years in World of Tanks that the first time you get to meet them, and you're like, Tofu, that's you? Or MacG, that's you? Fedge?
Like the first time you met Junior after listening to Junior's voice for so long. Like, whoa, you're not how I pictured you, Junior. And he's
deepest voice in
I
all
know,
of
I get
the
that all the time. All right, here we go. Battle number 3, Top Tier versus #RU. On Mines. Rukil, what do we have for tanks?
For tanks, we have a 5100 IS-6 T32, two 1390s, two T1 Cunningham. For Top Tier, they are the red team in the north. #are the blue team in the south. 5100, two T32s, two 1390s, two T1 Cunninghams. And right off the bat, Backstats, Memory League, heading to the hill, and they have the best jump there ever was.
Young Money, Cash Money, Young Money still trying to get up that mountain. Godzilla mode pushing him. Can he make it? Hi-ho, Young Money!
No!
He can't do it.
No air. Nothing at all. Not even grind on the rail. No points.
And now they sacrifice that middle position in Young Money, Cash Money, Godzilla mode. Are they going to try again?
They better try again. I don't see another solid option for them right now. They're pinned in their own base. Master Putin is so far in the back, and you've got two T32s, Valera, and Game is Rigged, trying to hold the front.
It's a better place to be with 2 wins rather than them having to be the aggressors.
You could say that. They have that defensive option, but when you put yourself in such a position as that, the crossfires, I should say the crossfire potential for Top Tier is such that they can just dig their opponent out. They can just kill them from ranges that they cannot spot back. And they can spot them from the hill and proxy right below their base. I'd be worried right now if our #RU. Are they going to try again to get back into the
No, they're not. They're not going to try again.
They're giving up?
Yep.
All right, I guess that's how it is. I don't think they patched it out last patch, did they?
That's something I have not tested.
I'm going to go over there and look. I don't remember.
It is steeper. I mean, it looks steep. I don't know if it's steeper.
Well, that rock I don't think was what I used to see. But it is rather steep. It still looks like it could be climbed. It just would require 3 tanks. And then the rest of the way up.
Yeah, they can make it.
think right here is hard to go along the outside.
Well, there's the first try. Yeah, they need a second tank.
They need 5100 or something to join the push. Looked a little too steep, or maybe a wrong angle. That would be an interesting undocumented patch. No, I wish they'd said something about patching that out in the last one. I would have noticed. This is what happens when you assume.
Yep. I mean, sometimes you still have that sense of discovery to figure things out, Rootkill. It's half the fun of life.
It is fun to discover new and interesting ways to exploit the maps, or find new hidden gems, as it were.
Yep. Valera Desolator hanging back, waiting for an opportunity to shoot towards top tier's placement in the center of mines. Not the case as Backstaz sweeping from east to west on the mine side. And when a Cash Money game is rigged, hanging out next to each other. And shot fired. Nothing lands.
Looks like 1390's crossing in the far west. Way out of range of anything to spot them.
She's a beaut. Looks like binocular vision.
I know, right? I love doing that shot. It's fun. Especially when there's like a last tank alive. You just want to zoom in right behind someone else.
Yeah, the great shot on Kazo.
Oh, yeah, you remember that? That was fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kazo destroyed a crew in a T1. Didn't blow up the tank, but he killed all crew members and got the win.
We call that crewing out a tank.
For his team.
Yeah. And there's only 2 tanks in a T1, so because you cannot kill more than 50% of the crew, I believe, in a tank at one time. Because there's 2 crew members, you cannot kill both in one shot. However, because the T1 fires just so many shells, the chance to crit is so very high that you put them just in the right spot, which is the upper part of the hull and the lower part of the turret. Boom, a nice group there, and you have a solid chance to crit out and kill both of the crews. And then the tank. So you can actually die without taking all of your health and damage. Luckily, Artie cannot kill all of your crew with 1 HE shell, which if that were not a restriction in the game, you could reasonably just die. And I have died to having all of my crew killed instantly. This was very early world.
Valera Desolator fires towards Velaccio. Does not secure a hit.
But they're tightening. Notice how they're just going to get slower and slower, moving closer and closer to their opponent, getting close, spotting, sniping from various angles at the same time. You've got the high ground E63 M6 and the 5100. You've got T1s on the flanks. Coolhammer, Rude Awakening watching the east side. Sublime Banana has moved on up to the high ground as well. His T32 should be very effective up there. Oh,
Coolhammer goes down. Valera Desolator was able to get that shot.
Toplum should die very soon if they can. E63 taking a shell. Needs to back off until the 1390s have secured a stronger position. Once that has happened, Backstaz leading the way. They should be able to approach stronger, or they could keep baiting this out. Backstaz can get free damage. Toplum goes down. That's both T1s. The eyes and ears for #RU gone. And because they have failed to get a tank into the mountains, I think their strat has entirely fallen apart.
Impressive so far to see top tier tightening the news, but still, all those tier 8s. There's plenty of damage, plenty of HP still on those tanks as well. Valera Desolator, the only one that's taking damage.
It's very possible for them to come back at this point. Only 1 shell needed to take down Rude Awakening. And for the most part...
E63 M6 gets unloaded upon.
Ouch. That's 523 damage. He's at 638, which is 3 solid shells.
Valera Desolator is trying to figure out how to escape from Backstaz's fire.
I like this position from Rude Awakening as well in the T1. He can get proxy spotted rather effectively. And now Young Money is trying to take on Memory Leak. 2 of them squaring off to the advantage of Memory Leak. 1 extra shell. And now here comes Backstaz moving in and to put pressure on Young Money. Tries to take a shot over the rock.
E63 M6 is so low. So low. He has to fall back. He's going to be out of this firefight for a little bit.
Let others do some work. Let others pull some weight. You've tanked enough damage. That's all you need to do. Velaccio hasn't even taken it.
As we pull back and see Valera Desolator in game is rigged to the front of the fire. Young Money Cash Money is down to 17 hit points. E63 M6 has 107. Young Money Cash Money, you don't have to move from that rock.
It gets
now he's
antsy.
dead.
If you sit still so long, eventually your opponent's going to dig you out. Yeah. Not a lot of options right now for #RU. They have to try and make something happen, but I don't think there's really any options. Top tier is playing this excellently. Very slowly, clearing out different angles, verifying where they're safe and where they're not. They have cover fire from above. It's not perfect. There's reload times. But it's such that they are just slowly getting that advantage. But Valecio goes down.
And
that could be it.
That's a big shot from Game is Rigged. E6 3M6 could be the next one. Backstab's trying to guard that. Game is Rigged has the shot lined up potentially. And there's a small window that Gamer is... No, can't get it. E6 3M6 already moved to lower ground.
Memory Leak has also taken a huge amount of damage. He's at 202. Any shell from any of these tanks could get that kill. One low roll from Godzilla mode maybe would allow him to live, but Memory Leak has to back off as well. Now Backstabs and Sublime Banana have to carry the weight for top tier in order for them to get this win. And Sublime rolls off the hill. Good job, doesn't take any damage. And now Valera's taking a hit from Memory Leak. One more connection and he will go down. Gets it.
And that's big. Game is Rigged is now on his own to the front. Godzilla Mode and Master Putin have got to keep him covered. Game is Rigged taking more damage. Fires towards Backstabs. And Backstabs takes another hit.
That'll force Game is Rigged back around the corner where Sublime Banana is. And he gets a connection.
Yep.
He's pinched. Game is Rigged has to pick a direction, something, or else he's about to go down. Otherwise, he's going to sit there and just take hits.
He's trapped. He's trapped. He's getting hit on both sides, and they know Godzilla Mode and Master Putin are hanging back, and they're not going to move from their position. And there goes Game is Rigged. Didn't even do that much damage in the last minute.
Didn't get a chance to. What are your options? You can
focus on one tank and then do as much damage as you can.
The problem is when he looks one direction, that tank backs down, and the other tank will move up and put damage into him. He's in an impossible situation. Top tier is too good for him to be able to actually perform.
1 minute for them to secure this. Godzilla Mode gets hit for 337. And now Master Putin. All 6 shells. Fires one into Backstabs. Backstabs hits the ground. Master Putin biding his time.
And Sublime moves up. All right, let's do this. I'm a T-32. I've got 764 health. You cannot kill me.
There's one. Master Putin now leaving. Ooh, Backstabs kills Memory Leak.
Whoa!
Master Putin takes down Backstabs.
And now that's interesting.
Ooh, track shot. Master Putin still alive, 23 seconds. Rude Awakening trying to get behind. Oh. Does 152 damage.
Whoa. To Rude Awake. Oh, Sublime's taking the kill. I was waiting to see a T1 monster kill there.
Top tier. Barely able to get it, but it took them long enough to press against the positioning of #RU. Top tier puts a point on the board. Not a shutout. Still got a series, but #RU still one battle away from taking it.
All right. For that battle, Sublime Banana. 2,563 damage in a T-32. Josh, I know you're proud of the no-cons tank right now.
Oh, yeah.
He goes 11 for 17. A lot of fire just going out there. I think blind fire here and there, and especially since he's sniping. What are you going to expect? And from a distance of 300 meters or more, 749 damage sniping. 600 damage in bounces. That's 2 shells from 5100s bounced. And 152 spotting damage. Fair enough. Good.
The no climbing of the mountain is what hindered the entire strategy of #RU.
Yeah. Once
they couldn't get up there, there's no way they're going to contest the center because it was completely overrun by their opponents. And there you see it again. Godzilla Mode not able to get Young Money, Cash Money up there. It takes about HP damage, not that big of a deal. But they lose out on that initial strategy. And if they had that, then that creeping of those tanks from further down range towards the water side and also coming across the center would have been way more dangerous for top tier because of the positioning of that 1390.
Exactly. That's it. The whole strategy hinged on just that and that alone. And because you're unable to do it, everything falls apart. I think #RU's got to be kicking themselves for that. They will be going to, I believe, Prokhorovka for the next battle. Not a whole lot of mountain goating on that map, but #RU in the past did not get to play top tier on that. I'll have to see their record real quick on Prokhorovka. I'm going to go check on that, Josh.
On Prokhorovka, they lost against Fnatic. That was the first battle that they had in match number 1 of today. Prokhorovka, again, from the beginning of the Gold League in the season to now, it has been just back and forth the type of strategies being brought.
So 2 battles on Prokhorovka for #RU. 1 on side 1, 1 on side 2, north and south. No wins. Have not won a Prokhorovka match.
All right, well, if it's their time to win one, it is tonight. If they do win on Prokhorovka, they move on to the winner's match, and they stay, or the decider match, they stay alive. If not, top tier can tie up the series. Rookkill, what do we have for tanks?
We have a T-32, T-69, 3 1390s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. For the side of top tier, the red team in the north. #U in the south, the blue team will have a 5100 T-32, T-69, 2 1390s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. And we talked about this earlier, Josh, the 5100 choice on this map.
There's Master Putin riding along that 5100. The burst damage is excellent. Sniper fire, very good in context and consideration to other tanks on the field. But if it gets knocked out early, GG. That's the type of tank it is. Paper thin armor.
Yeah. But they're switching out instead of bringing the Waffentrager. That's the point of all this strategy.
Yep.
And they're deciding, you know, there's more damage in that, more consistent fire, and a better profile, a better chassis for the 5100 than the Waffentrager. I think that's where it's going. Backstaz, how did you take a hit? Blind fire from Game is Rigged?
Yes. And now he's on the reload.
Nice.
I can't tell exactly if it was blind fire, but Game is Rigged.
There's
get that
no
shot.
way it wasn't. Toplum could not have gotten that spotting. It was just a prediction of the opening move from top tier. That's all it had to be. This connection's going into where tank are. Turret. 1 single shell right into the turret. That's the gunner's position. Might have taken that out. Would be huge to lose a gunner this early and have to burn your kit for that.
Yeah, that's quite a wake-up call. Quite a hey, how you doing right at the beginning of the battle.
He's got to be sitting there going, whoa, how did I just, what?
What is happening?
Whoa.
Toplum and Godzilla mode now to the furthest northern section of the map. They will encounter no tanks. East-west divide happening. Now, if it was a draw on mines, then #RU would draw this out again for the win, or could have, you know, took the tank aside victory or flag cap, but still close. Still a possibility for top tier to bring this around.
Very well could. Cool hammer. T1. Watching the north. And then south, Rude Awakening. We saw something like this earlier with 2 T1s north and south. It's going to be both teams polarizing each other. Finding where the weaknesses are. But where are they, Josh? Where is the weakness for #RU?
The weakness is in missing their shots, obviously, but you look at the spread, it is so concentrated in the center, but divided in the center. What I mean by that is Valera Desolator's in the T-32. Okay, he's the one that can cross the tracks the closest. Rude Awakening will be able to spot that. Master Putin is so far away on the hill, even though he can land shots for any tanks that engage in the center. Once he has sent all 6 of those shots into the air, connection or no, he's out of the fight. Distance adds RNG on accuracy, and that is what can make or break sometimes this positioning of any tank.
Velatio takes 239 damage. Sorry to cut you off there, Josh. And also an HE shell coming out of Valera Desolator. That T-32 you were talking about. Velatio's taking a little damage, and there's a lead in damage. That looks like a bounce right there off the top. May have not. Looks like it was maybe a PCR.
Yeah, that was Valera again.
Look at how close it was to the commander's hatch.
Wow.
Just a hair too low. He knew exactly where to aim. Center of his reticle in the perfect position. Just barely not able to get the connection.
Valera trying to line up another shot here.
And now a shift from top tier. They're going to be going to the north, I believe. Backstairs in the north. Memory leak. On the northern side of the middle hill. E63. Very close. Right on the middle hill. And I'm expecting them to make a push towards the north soon. Or possibly they're just expecting some kind of pressure from that direction, and they're going to stay zeroed and prepared for Godzilla mode to push over one more time. They've actually left them south mostly open. If Rude Awakening were to be pressed upon, he would very easily go down. Probably no reply from Sublime Banana or Velatio. They would not have time to get the shot on target. And it looks like Young Money may have been spotted, or Rude Awakening is just keeping on going. It's going up. And look, surprise, 1390.
Boom! Rude Awakening, gone. T1 down for top tier, eyes and ears. Off the battlefield.
And that is half, actually, sorry, a quarter of the map control being taken away from top tier and becoming no man's land.
And the struggle continues for top tier to get a win. To tie up the series. Draw will go in favor of #RU, but it doesn't finish the series because top tier can then draw it out and take us to Sand River. Happen against top tier and Hammer Time. Hammer Time took the win.
HE shells continuing to impact near and around Velatio. Saw that giant pillar of fire bounce off of Velatio's side. Turns his turret. Focus back towards Godzilla mode, who has been able to fire upon Velatio without receiving any in kind.
Young Money, Cash Money still cruising around. Waiting to land another shot here. Far away, Valera still spotting. Cool Hammer, topple him. Duking it out. Topple him didn't take any damage, but Cool Hammer took 36 HP worth of damage. Topple him falls back a little bit, not to overexpose himself.
It's a small victory just to hit Cool Hammer for a little bit. That's all he needs to do. In this battle, #RU just has to keep their opponent at bay. One draw, and that makes the only option for victory a tiebreaker on Sand River for top tier. #RU can, of course, take this to Himmelsdorf and just say, you know what? Let's win it there. It's where we feel more confident. But should they feel more confident if they go to Himmelsdorf?
Top tier. Well,
#RU.
It's their for top tier. It's their best map / worst map.
And then for #RU, what's the standing on there?
I believe it's indifferent. They didn't either highly perform or do bad on it.
#RU Steps is their best map.
Yep.
Worst map looks like Himmelsdorf.
Let me check. Yeah, worst map, Himmelsdorf. Their biggest losses were against Victoria's Secret in that long-range firefight, which I talked about earlier.
Yeah. This is a complete standstill at this point.
Young Money, Cash Money, still holding up on the hill along with Master Putin. 2 minutes, 34 seconds. We've reached the point where a trigger has to pull from either team to get a win, or at least try to outdamage each other in case it goes to a draw to get the HP value.
Little blind fire coming out of Valera Desolator. No connections. If this does go to a tie break right now, it looks like #RU is getting a little bit of an advantage out of this battle. They've got damage on Velatio, Sublime Banana, Backstabs, Cool Hammer, but they've taken almost none themselves.
And Game is Rigged takes down Cool Hammer. That's both the eyes and ears gone for top tier. And with the time ticking away, the only possibility that top tier will have is a tiebreaker. Young Money, Cash Money on the move as fast as he can.
Where's he going?
He's heading towards the railroad tracks.
Interesting goal.
Next to Game is Rigged, and then swinging towards the center. Heading down the tracks towards the south with Valera Desolator, and rams into the tank for a little bit of a spark as he rammed into the hole. And he's just holding. They're holding. They're waiting for top tier to come to them. And they've done more damage against top tier than the other way around, with the tier 1s being destroyed and then Backstabs taking a hit. E63 M6 cruising on through
the backfield.
The backfield next to those trees, next to the road. 50 seconds. Young Money, Cash Money continues to move to the south. Pops up next to the tracks. Doesn't see anything. Potentially goes for a blind. Well, he may see something.
He doesn't see anything.
No.
No.
His turret's in the right direction, though. 30 seconds left. Let's check in with Valera, who's continually firing. And Master Putin, blind fire. How close? It's really close against Velatio.
Yeah. We've got bounces on the front of Velacio's turret, right on the gun mantlet, all around the turret. This T-32 just doing its job excellently. Sublime Banana has taken a hit on his turret as well. And shots continue to stream over. Looks like
it's a draw.
Yeah.
It's a draw. Time ran out. Himmelsdorf, next battle.
Well, top tier
did no damage.
They actually did absolutely zero damage that battle.
No damage.
You can't even sort them up and down. I can't. There's no. They just stay where they are.
We can't sort. It is the same.
Yeah. They dealt absolutely zero damage that battle. Not a single connection. Nothing anywhere. Top tier collecting their thoughts. I think that's what they did. They accepted the reality of the draw, and after a while just said, you know what? We'll do it on Himmelsdorf. On Himmelsdorf.
Now, Velatio is such a top performer on his team, and he has been the team representative in a lot of our media pieces that we've done. But that hit bounce that had happened, I really think set them off a little bit. You take a look. I mean, the shots are just so close to Velacio's positioning. And then there's a hit on one side. And then later on, you'll see just more bounces off the front of his tank. And a lot of that's blind fire. But just really, really good, predictable, or shots putting top tier, in predictable places to maintain that fire. A lot of it, you could say it's suppressing fire coming from Master Putin from up top.
That's precisely what it is. Shoot at them, they'll keep their heads down. Works.
Yeah.
Especially when you make a few connections here and there and they go, ow, ow. Okay, 100 damage here from AT shell. I think I'm going to go back this way. You guys chill here. T-69, you got this, right? You got this.
Sure, man. As long as it's not up against a T-32, I'm fine.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
So it wasn't fine, and he did take a shell for it. The only way I can sort is by tank, and Velatio comes out on top.
He does.
T-32.
No cons.
Bounces so many shells.
Still, when you have no damage, no cons. All right. Battle number 5, #RU. If they take this to a draw, they win. If top tier wins, we go to a tiebreaker, and then it's still anybody's game. Rookhill, what do we have for tanks?
For tanks, we have 3 AMX 5100s, 2 IS-3s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. That is top tier. The red team in the south. The blue team in the north, #RU, 3 AMX 5100s, 2 IS-3s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. And the battle will begin. Movement.
Fanning out from top tier. And #RU. Heading towards the hill at first, at least the hillside on the east, but not committing to the hill entrance, actually heading towards Tank Alley, perhaps.
And that's interesting. I haven't seen a strat like that in a while. On the other side, we've got a very wide spread. We've got almost something, a throwback to Season 1, Season 2 of Himmelsdorf. Sublime Banana taking the traditional position alongside Velatio. 2 of them in their IS-3s, looking out across, maybe connection, try and shoot the other turrets of IS-3s, see what happens there. Backstaz, his battle buddy, E63M6, will be covering the train tracks. Together they can deal a significant amount of damage. And then Memory Leak, protecting and escorting Coolhammer in the T1, is heading up to the hill. They'll be finding Toppling.
#RU set themselves up to counter any type of huge aggression coming from Tank Alley. Did not happen, and so they're going to maintain their position next to the flag cap.
You say maintain their position. What is that I'm seeing?
Their hemispherical position to the north, but now they're moving towards the west. I was waiting to see where else they were going here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of movement. I'm wondering, well, are they going west? Are they just like driving in circles? Is it actually some kind of
they were on
orbit?
The Charlie 7-8 section in that city block, and now they're back towards the west.
What if they started orbiting around the cap, just driving in circles?
Well,
And then gave us an example of what traffic is like?
Who orbits in traffic?
No, have you ever seen that example? Why traffic slows down?
No, I haven't.
When one guy slows down, everyone behind him
Oh, it's continuous.
has to slow down.
Well, I understand
Yeah,
that.
I'll show you later.
I thought it was some sort of,
It's just proof of
I
concept.
don't know, formulaic equation you're going to put together to
It's-
explain traffic.
It's not an equation.
Can you imagine what it'd be like to see a bunch of tanks cruising down a highway together?
Seen plenty of military vehicles cruising down a highway, Humvees and stuff, but no, not a bunch of tanks.
Not a cavalry charge of tanks. I haven't.
Don't think the roads are made for that.
Well, tanks are made for that.
Tanks are made for that, but they're a bit heavy.
Made for everything. All right, Godzilla mode. He's turning around in a circle. Hashtag RU is going to hold their position while top tier continues across the
Forward.
courtyard.
It's the only direction.
It is the only direction. It's the only thing the top tier can do.
And they're going for it.
They have to aggress. They have to get this win.
This feels... Oh, top limb. That's an interesting position you're in.
Yes, it is. He is way up top, and he dodges one shot.
How unfortunate when you die to an HE shell. Actually, that will be pretty cool. That will be pretty interesting.
And he dies. Velaccio is able to pinpoint that shot. So very tough to get just on the corner.
And to
T1
look at the setup,
goes
I
down.
want to explore that real quick. Top tier. Sublime Banana. Valleccio up north. E63, but Backstab south. Looks like Sublime might switch out with E63. Look at how they hesitate for a moment so that they get the timings right. So that neither of them are really truly out of position for too long, creating too much of a blind spot. A potential flank from #U that would go undetected. Now they're stacking up. They're getting ready. Backstab is holding back, looking for the widest angle he can. Cool Hammer, memory leak. T1 and 5100 waiting in the wings. Once the cover comes from there, which it looks like it's about to, Cool Hammer moves on to cap. And he's going to get, yes, right into the perfect cubby. He needs to be maybe booted in there a little further. Maybe not.
You know, Money needs to fire and get the shot. Can't get it.
And now they're going to bait it. They're forcing #RU to make a move. They know.
Ooh! HE shell from Young Money Cash Money does 45 damage.
Brilliant shot.
He switched the shell out because he's about to reload and he's reloading again. Oh, he switched the shell. He can get another one. And he gets it.
Not enough proper cover. There needs to be a real screen from top tier. And here's their attempt at a real screen. Backstab, Valleccio, E63 M6 moving in, but it's a trap.
The 5100s are ready for him, and Backstab and Velaccio now trying to trade fire. And a big bounce off the front of Master Putin. And now Velaccio is so low. They need to stay alive here if they want to stay alive in the series to go to a draw, but now one has fallen. Backstab is the next one. He goes down. 2 tier 8s are down, and now Godzilla Mode and Valera Desolator are charging towards Velaccio, who's incredibly low. Master Putin gets the kill. Memory leak. Trying to run away.
And he's actually kind of drawing the opponents apart in a way. As they chase him down, he's going to try and run and hide as best he can, but Godzilla, smash. Does Valera. Also.
Sublime Banana takes down. Game is rigged. Godzilla Mode, waiting for it, gets the shot and the kill. The 5100 explodes into a fiery grave. And now Sublime Banana trying to take down Young Money Cash Money. Rude Awakening still waiting for the reload. Valera Desolator halfway. Oh, nice ram from Valera. This is it. Sublime Banana's the last tank alive for top tier. If he falls, they are out of the tournament. He fires into Godzilla Mode for 399 damage. Valera Desolator waiting for the reload, but Godzilla Mode gets the shot and the kill, and #RU does it. And they move on to the decider match. They stay alive. Top tier had a great season. We'll see them next season. Unfortunately, they could not bring it back against #RU.
Yep. Real quick to review, Godzilla Mode did 2,297 damage in that last battle. Every single shell penetrated for damage 6 for 6. Fantastic job by him. Young Money. We have to point out the IS reloading HE. and then taking out a T1. Heads up play. Let's take a look at that one more time. We see Coolhammer has taken one shell already, and then Young Money, Cash Money, recognizing exactly